What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Six Rings Kane Show. Joined as always by my two comrades here, Vish and DJ Danny Gillette. What's going on, fellas? How you guys doing?
Good, can't complain.
Yep, can't complain. Season's getting closer.
I
Look,
know.
obviously, I know you heard me earlier. I'm having some issues. I don't know what the hell's going on with my hat. I feel weird. I don't know. I don't feel weird. I feel weird. I feel like the glasses aren't making me look as smart as they usually do. Which is good, though, because
Well,
we've got an expert in the field of recruiting on today.
well, it's
Sure,
not like
sure.
it.
Blame it on the
Yeah,
glasses.
yeah,
Blame it
yeah.
on the
It's the
glasses.
glasses.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's
So
it's
me
a
and
good
Vish
thing we
don't have
don't.
to.
Yeah, it's a good thing we don't have like 2 hours of shows going right now, Jazz, for you to feel uncomfortable.
Yeah, right. Oh, it's been one of those days, man. It's the blue light lens. Anyways, fellas, we got a pretty cool show today.
Very
Listen,
cool show.
a lot. Actually, as a matter of fact, some of the fans have been asking for more recruiting. Right? We've been doing baseball. We've been doing just other stuff. Right? Other news. We've had Darren Heitner on. We had Blue spitting knowledge with John Michaels just going crazy. So, but we
That
really
was
haven't
great.
gotten
That
into
was
some
great.
recruiting. And to be honest with you, we've had some really good recruiting news lately the last couple of weeks, right? I mean, Danny, you wrote a really nice piece today that you posted on the Five Reasons Sports Network. And obviously a big time commit yesterday, who, by the way, is going to be on the show next Wednesday. We'll have Jackson Carver on the show next Wednesday. Tried to make it today, but really couldn't. So we're moving it back a week, but that's okay. Because if you guys wanted recruiting, this is a show to tune into, man. Because we have one of the
We got the man.
we've got if
Cut
there's
to the
anybody
chase
that
here.
knows about recruiting in South Florida for the Miami Hurricanes, not only South Florida but all throughout the country, it's this guy that we're going to bring on right now. And without further ado, what's going on, my man?
What's up, Rasta?
Hello, fellas. How
How
we
you
doing
doing,
tonight?
Rasta?
Doing good, man. Doing good. Glad to have you back on the show. I know it's been a minute, but listen, man. Like I said, man, we've got a lot of recruiting news going on right now. I really can't even keep up with it. I don't know how you do it, but you putting out some fire edits out there on social media as well. So, we wanted to bring you on to kind of spit some recruiting knowledge to us. I know Vish is our expert here now. If you ask him, yeah,
Man, you don't do that to me. Some people
yeah.
might not know you're joking.
Yo, Rasta, he was on Max's show last week doing some recruiting stuff. And if anybody knows anything about our show, it's when recruiting stuff comes on, Vish kind of disappears, right? Because he's like, I don't even want to do this. But like
Look,
he
it's
did his
not.
homework,
It's
he's been
not that
doing
I.
his research, and now he is the man.
It's not that I can't talk about stuff. You got people like Rasta and DJ here. Like, I mean, give the airtime to the people that are better to discuss that. So, like, when you go to that, we got experts on here. I'm not gonna sit here and fill up the airtime, but yeah. When
I
Bax sent
can't
me the
write a
topic
Pulitzer
list for his
Prize
show,
winning
I was
piece
like,
though.
all right, I got to prepare this time. If you're on a guest
That's
and
the,
ask you a question, you got to answer. On
that's the
our own
thing. I can't
show,
write a good piece like you can, though, Vish. So like we all got our strengths and weaknesses here. You can win the Pulitzer Prize coming up pretty soon. So
Yeah, no
I
kidding,
can't do
man.
that,
For
man.
real, for real. So what's going on with you, Rasta? Talk to us, man. How you been?
Oh man, been busy. Transitioning to another job field, and obviously with this being June and July, it's busy months for recruiting for me. The show's been picking up steam. It's kind of slow through spring, and now it's like jam packed. Because all I do is recruiting.
Right.
So now it's like balls to the wall, man. So I'm blessed. I'm here, and can't complain, man.
I know. I mean, now everything is starting to kind of gear up. It's starting to get crazy. I mean, it's already been that way. But
Right.
to be honest with you, right? Like the first thing I want to start off with is because obviously we go back and forth a lot in our, we got some chats and stuff that we're on, and the back and forth and kind of weeding out all the crap, right? All the bogus rumors, all the BS that's out there from, what some people consider legitimate sources and I'm not to name any names because we don't want to, we don't want to disrespect, but there's people out there that are just putting out garbage just to get clicks, right? Just to get likes, just to get people to like them. And the truth is that as our man Flo likes to say, right, we got a lot of receipts, right?
Mhm.
So talk to me a little bit about how that's going. How hard is it to sift through? First of all, obviously you've got a lot of legitimate info. However, there's a lot of people out there that that are obviously, like I said, putting out some false rumors and just to kind of get things going or to kind of play against Miami, right? So how do you sift through all the crap and how do you know who the good ones are or what the good rumors are or the good information is?
I mean, honestly, I've been doing this for so long that I've kind of learned the mistakes not to take. Um, and I'm not, me personally, I don't want to be that guy. I don't want to be the expert. I don't want to be the news writer, the article guy. Like that's not me. I'm the type of person I'd rather just build a relationship with these young men, so they can trust me. I get to know things, talk to them. I do a lot of mentoring. Like I mentor these young men. I just got off the phone with Oleas Alanin, was talking to him about, now he's added a fifth visit in, and I tell all these kids, man, go take all. You're not gonna ever do this again. Like once this is gone, it's done. I hope you pick Miami, obviously, but I want the best for the kids at the end of the day. And a lot of kids they get backlashes. Oh, well, he said he was going to take it 4. We had like a wonderful visit. Now, he's got a bad game and da da da. Some of these kids, man, they understand. They want to go take all these visits they can. Sometimes it's not just this guy's taking money from here, or, school's falling off and stuff like that. Nah, like literally this kid is on vacation. He doesn't get to see his family for like ever, and finally they get to fly from Finland and experience this with him. Like I'm gonna tell this kid all the time, any day of the week, go. Like, go, this is free. Go get free food, go get free, flights and stuff like that. You don't get this any other time of the year, So, me, I don't like to write stuff. I'm not on Twitter like posting kids. I'm not gonna ruin their moments. Like I talked to Jackson before he committed. I knew that one. It's like Sunday night. I did his edit. But it wasn't my job to sit here and say, oh hey, I feel really really confident. Stay tuned. Da 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 da. That's not me. And that's what these kids they'll rather come to me and talk and chop it up and stuff.
You give them their moment, you give them their shine, and that's what it's all about. The kids need to have their own moment in the spotlight to be able to do these things and to experience everything that comes. Like you said, I mean, this kind of stuff doesn't happen. Even if you're in the transfer portal, it isn't. It's not the same, man. It's not the same as when you're a high school kid and doing and setting up all these visits.
It's also just a dick move from like people like us that are adults and just ruining these kids' minds. Like let them take their visits. Let them make whatever decision. They got to own that decision. Like, leave these kids alone. Like, they're in high school.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and we're grown adults with jobs, and we're like pestering these kids. I'm like, why are you doing this? Why are you doing that? And then let them be teenagers. Like, relax.
Just put yourself in their shoes.
Yeah.
This is your one big moment. You can have fun, and your timeline's about to blow up for 24 to 48 hours. As a 16, 17-year-old kid, that's a huge thing. Who you see them all the time. What fan base has the most, crazy fans, or who shows the most love? You see it all the time. They love it. Give them their moment. A lot of kids that, I won't follow a kid until he commits. And I respect that. I don't go bash the kid because he wants love. You know what I'm saying? He wants to feel the attention. It's social media area, bro. This isn't 1990. Where dial-up internet is Bell South and stuff. Like, come on, bro. Get these kids, let them live.
Do you think, being that as it may, right? Like, I get that. Like, you want the kids to kind of do their thing and have fun with it. Is there a wrong or a right way for these players, for these kids to behave or to do certain things? Because obviously there's some coaches that are going to take it as a sign of disrespect if they do one thing or if they do anything or if they play too many games. Is there a right or a wrong way?
I mean, I'm not the person that's the judgy one. I'm not gonna say, what I'm saying, because you never know how a young man is brought up or a young lady is brought up. In their household, that might be a normal. That might be something that they have fun, they joke, they do a lot of stuff with. You might have a military family who is like, no, we're business. This is da 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 da. So everybody is different. I mean, if I give my honest opinion to people, I'm obviously say, hey, look, at the end of the day, this is still technically a business, because you never know if this wide receiver coach that you're playing games with, that might be your NFL coach. That might be the guy that dictates if you get drafted, to his team and stuff like that. It's a longevity thing. So unfortunately, it does happen. But I mean, I'm not that guy to say, who goes overboard or not.
But we're also all duplicitous because when they play the hat game and then pull the Miami hat up, we're like, we love that kid. If they make fun of Florida State, we love that kid, right?
Right.
And so when they do it just we're like, man, that you can't be doing that. That's unprofessional.
Right.
It's the game,
it's
right?
true.
It's just
Right.
it's the old Godfather. It's the business we've chosen for ourselves. You're gonna work, and follow with high school students. You're gonna get various degrees of maturity and like Rasta said, various backgrounds with various attitudes. Just roll with it.
Right.
Very true. Very true. I guess kind of flipping the script now that we got all the serious stuff out of the no, but for real, first thing I want to talk about is this big commit that we got yesterday. Jackson Carver, the 3 or 4-star, however, whichever site you look at. I'm going to go with the 4-star because I like that better. But the 4-star tight end, 6'6", 220 pounds, multi-sport athlete, not just like, I mean, he plays lacrosse. He plays, I think it was hockey, right? And basketball or baseball, something like that.
I think he played basketball and he ran track.
And he ran track. Wow. Okay. First of all, I don't know how you have all the time in the world to do that. But second of all, he looks like he's a good kid. He's a smart kid. He's talented. Hasn't played a ton of football though, right? What can you tell me about Jackson? What can you tell me about Jackson Carver?
I mean, honestly, like I've spoke with him now, going on probably 6 months. And just every time I speak to the kid, he's very well respectful. He's very humble. And every time I ask him, "What are you doing?" He's like, "I'm working." And then I'm like, "Well, what does that mean?" Like I work at different areas. Like I work on edits, right? I work at home, with my kid. I go to work. Like, what do you mean by work? And he's like, "Well, today, I just got done lifting, weights and da da da." And now I'm headed to hit the books. And there's a lot of people. He's in military school. He was in military academy.
Right.
So he wasn't with his family. He didn't get to go home. He's basically in a dorm. So he really don't have nothing but time to sit down and shackle up and grind. So that's all he knows right now is work ethic, and that's the only thing that's going to exceed him because he's brand new at football. This year that just passed, his junior season, was his first year ever playing football. So
That's
ever.
wild.
And
And he's that good already, right? Like that's impressive.
Well, if you watch his tape, I mean, last year you can kind of tell he really didn't know the plays some. He's got to learn, but that's fine. Like I asked him, I said, "Do you feel like what?" I asked him on my show one day. I said, "What do you feel like is your strongest point and your weakest?" And he said, honestly, my strongest point is that I don't know the game so much. Like I haven't been coached, so whoever gets me is going to be able to groom me exactly how they want them. They're not getting in somebody who's been coached this way and now they got to change some things. He goes, they could literally just take me and go. And then my weakness is I don't know the game that well. So literally he knows me being so fresh at this, I'm going to have to take a red shirt. I'm going to have to learn, plays and how to play the game and blocking schemes and all of this. But he also still has a full year in high school. I'm pretty sure this staff is going to be in very well contact with his staff. Hey, we need this and this and this. We want him learning this and this and this. They do it all the time. They do it with quarterbacks. They do it with wide receivers. They do it with everybody. Look at Greg Rousseau a couple years ago. Went from playing safety. We went on a DN. The high school team put him as DN. It's nothing for a coach to say, hey, look, your college wants you here. This is what we're doing. And then you groom them, right? So in a 6'6", 220, you get him in for a full year in that weight room with Coach Fell. I could see him being 245, 250 easily by his redshirt freshman year.
That's crazy. I mean, okay. So being that, right? Like, yeah, he's got the size, he's got the the measurables are there, the character is there. Why is he? And I mean this in all the positive way. Like I love it. I love the recruit. I love the commit. I think it's a huge get because I think that's the type of guy that Mario likes and the whole entire staff likes. What is it about him? What can he bring to this team? Let's say he has to redshirt, right? So he will redshirt. Let's say, what type of tight end will he be? Is he a guy that's going to stick at tight end? Is he a guy that can move to a different position, like you said, like you were talking about? Hey, maybe they have other plans for him, right? So
Yeah.
What can you see from him moving forward when he puts on the orange and green though?
So I see him sticking to tight end, honestly, just because with that size, I don't really see him playing anywhere else on offense. Defense, he's never played, which I mean, he's still really learning all of it. But I highly doubt they'll stick him anywhere else. I don't think he's fast enough, like twitchy, to be a D end or anything like that. But I hear a lot of people instantly saying, "Oh, he's an inline tight end. He's going to be pretty much predominantly a blocker."
Right.
I don't like that. I don't like that saying because the kid can still go out and catch balls. He can still run routes. He's not slow. He's probably 4.6, 4.5, somewhere around there, which is pretty.
That's really good. Yeah, that's good for a tight end.
6'20". And a lot of people don't realize, they might know now, but he was committed to Notre Dame playing lacrosse, which Notre Dame and lacrosse is literally like Alabama in football.
Yeah.
That's like top of the line. So and then he's been 4 years starter, or 3 years. He'll be 4 years this year, starting hockey, track, basketball. Like he's played varsity at the highest level his whole, career. So, or high school career. I mean, he's an athlete, which is what this staff really wants. They want multi-sport athletes. Look at the running back that we just offered. Nobody really knew till now. Now Bama just offered Chris Johnson. They want guys who play multiple sports because that's what Miami was built off of. Miami had Jimmy Graham, a perfect example. Dominated on basketball, put him in that tight end and NFL superstar.
Right. Yeah, that's the truth right there. Really quick before we move on, I kind of want to get your take, DJ and Vish, if you guys have any takes on Jackson Carver, or what, how excited you guys are about him committing to the games.
I'm very excited. When I watch there we go. When I watched this film, he had a good downfield speed, meaning, he got out of his break quickly and he was able to get down the field. I thought from what I saw, he had good hands and he fits the game well in the sense that 10 to 15 years ago, I feel as though the job of a tight end was primarily to block. There were a lot of blocking tight ends. There were some receiving tight ends, obviously, but a lot of tight ends blocked. That's not the case anymore. Now, as a tight end, you have to have a fair amount of speed and you have to be a receiving weapon. I feel like Carver can be that type of player. I do see him sticking at tight end. I agree with Rasta because of his size. But when you look at what he brings to the table and kind of the vertical downfield threat that he can bring, and you look at the types of quarterbacks that Miami is trying to recruit down the field, pocket passers who can run a little bit, but primarily pocket passers, I think this is a good fit. It's kind of like matching up the offensive line with the running backs. Having Mirabal in there to help Josh Gaddis and the running game work efficiently is important. Having a down the field playmaking tight end who can help running backs that can throw the ball deep is also a recipe for success.
Yeah, big time. Vish, if you don't have anything, we'll kind of
just real quick. I Rasta touched on this a little bit, DJ as well, but just his blocking stood out to me, and this whole Mario thing of we got to get more physical. This is a big physical kid, and you put him at. And I agree with both Rasta and DJ. This kid's a tight end all the way. We're not gonna, he's not just like a blocking specialist. He'll be able to catch as well, but Mario wants every player, doesn't matter what position you're playing, to be physical. This is a physical kid. He's going to fit right in here.
I mean, people don't realize. I mean, the kid plays hockey and lacrosse, which, I mean, physical. I mean, you want physical, you got physical right there on both of those sports as well. So, moving along to, I guess, a counterpart of his, right? A guy that came on a visit, if I'm not mistaken, Rossi, you could probably confirm this. It came on a visit with him, who might be more of a well-known name in most recruiting rooms. Is Reed McKeska, the another tight end who was committed to Clemson, if I'm not mistaken, or is committed to Clemson. Kind of give us an update on that kid. I know there's some some talk about Miami really making a push for him, and the opportunity is there for him to come down here. And then at the same time, tell me how many tight ends are we going to take in this class?
His recruitment, it's funny because before he committed to Clemson, he was actually headed to Miami on a visit, and he canceled the visit mid-visit, like or mid travel, and decided to commit to Clemson. Um, so when he was in Clemson, but he was getting ready to come to Miami, and he shut it down. And supposedly the parents wanted him to kind of open it up, just see, because the decision was kind of made like just quickly. And his first call was from Oklahoma, right up the road. And obviously Miami was still recruiting him the whole time, and then Florida got involved. He set up 3 official visits, went to Oklahoma the week before last, before he came to Miami, and Oklahoma seemed like the front runner. And things went well, they said, and they felt really well where they set. And then Coach Field, man, that dude is telling you, it's different with him. I'm so happy we kept him. Like a lot of people don't realize just how key piece he is. I know everybody thinks when they think of him, oh, he recruits Miami so well. It's not even that. You got Elijah Royal, Jackson Carver, Reed McKeskey. Those are all dudes like from everywhere. It's not just Miami kids, right? And so when he come down, I'm gonna just say Miami put their best foot forward, and that Florida visit no longer is going to happen.
Whew.
And it's a Oklahoma Miami toss up, and the decision I believe is coming really soon. Could be this week or next. It would be my guess. Next week could probably be the latest because he's supposed to be in Florida tomorrow. I think he was supposed to fly in. So I mean that's good news. He cancels his last visit after leaving Miami. So we'll see.
That means his last visit was Miami now, right? And it's always good to be the last visit, man, for sure. For sure. I would love to have. I mean, that's a guy that could be tight end number 1 in 3 years, right? Because you still gotta, you gotta deal with Elijah Arroyo, and I think he's got something to say about that. But once he's out of there, it's. I mean, if a guy like Reed comes in, that could be a kid that could come in right away and start.
Well, and like a lot of people don't realize McKeskey's first year playing football was last year as well.
That's wild, man. That's crazy.
So that's 2 tight ends you take this class. If he commits that have only 2 years of experience in football at the tight end position as well. And I know the other guy that I feel like we're in a really good position with, Jackson Howard, is no longer being recruited as a tight end. He's being recruited as defensive end.
Right.
So your board is shrinking, but there's another guy out there. He will be here next week, Legends Camp weekend, and Riley Williams.
Oh yeah,
he is tight end 1. That dude is insanely
He's
good.
a big kid from the Midwest, right? From the Midwest.
Oregon. Jackson Howard is from Midwest. He's from Minnesota.
Gotcha. That's the one I was thinking. Right, Jackson Howard's from Minnesota. Right.
Yep. So I mean, if you have Reed and Riley 1 in, I think you take all 3. And just let the numbers work out. I have heard rumors. I can't confirm if they're true. It's just things going around that numbers aren't what the coaching staff is concerned with. They'll figure ways to get things through. So if you got 3 top guys you want in, you take them.
Well, not only that, right? Like now we're not too concerned. And Vish and DJ, we had a show about this recently. The initial counters is not a factor anymore, right? It's not going to be a factor anymore. So now it doesn't matter. You can go all out and take 4 tight ends if you wanted to, and 3 quarterbacks. You know what I mean? Like obviously I'm exaggerating, but like you can do that now, and it's only going to benefit you because what's the worst that can happen? Just like what happens in Alabama and Georgia and Clemson, everywhere else, guys transfer out or they stick around. It is what it is. Right. But if you can get strength in numbers and you can get 3 tight ends like McKeskey, Carver, and Williams. I mean, listen, one's bound to be a star. The second one could be a guy that comes in and plays and contributes. And then there's another guy that could possibly switch positions. You don't know. So especially with this roster, with this
it's
staff.
also, it's part of the coaching staff's job is to manage the roster
Right.
Both by, someone will probably be a little bit less ready to come in, maybe you redshirt, and then they're all of a sudden not the same year anymore, right? I mean, it's not rocket science to do that, but also get creative with your formations. You got 3 talented tight ends. Let someone figure out how to cover that, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Like, I mean, because you're gonna have to. Let's say, I mean, not that we're gonna run this like on every play, but you put 3 tight ends that can block and catch on the field. How many linebackers are they gonna have to put to cover? It's gonna be a lot of space for them to cast ball into. Like, you can do all sorts of fun.
Right.
Ask any coach, like, give me the talented players, I'll figure it out. So we're not going to sit here and say, well, we already got, too many at position. The one exception is, like, you can only play one quarterback, really. So, but any other position, like, you can get creative with formations. You can have packages that make it harder to line up with, and especially with something like this where, no one else really plays like that. So you're asking a team like an opponent to come in there and figure stuff out just for one game, and generally they struggle with that. It's how Oregon for a lot of years got away with that tempo. They weren't doing anything that genius or anything. They were just like, no, team defenses took a while to catch up to it. Just because you do that for 1 week, you play that tempo for 1 week, and then you go back to playing normal speed. It's overwhelming, and you can do that with positions too. So
speaking of
get all the talent in there.
Speaking of Jackson Howard, looks like he just tweeted. He texted me. No, he just tweeted.
July 1st.
He just tweeted. Yeah, July 1st is a big day. LSU, Michigan, and Minnesota. So it's funny, right? 3 UMs there. Well, there's only one real UM, right? The other ones don't count. But that's pretty interesting.
There's one U.
There's one U.
That was the separation.
There's only one U. That's like a commercial. Awesome. Anyways, DJ, I know you had a question about a player, man. Go ahead.
This is a player that's been kind of generated a lot of buzz. Nathaniel Joseph decommitted from Clemson, I believe, on Tuesday, visiting on June 24th. Can you tell me anything about that, Rasta? Have you heard anything?
He will be in Louisville tomorrow. He flies out there for his official visit there. And with the way Louisville is recruiting right now, they're going to go all out, and it's not going to be easy for us to just land him. I feel very great where we stand because obviously, he's been coming to campus for quite some time, and we've got more face to face with him than any other school. But A&M and Louisville are definitely trying to come at him. But honestly, I think the A&M stuff, like if you look at every receiver in the country right now, they have A&M in their top 5.
Yeah.
So to me, I think the A&M stuff is just like, it's just a name to throw out there. Hey, look, everybody knows they're throwing bags. I'm gonna put their name in a hat just to make it look like, you know what I'm saying? I mean, I know they contact kids, don't get me wrong, because James Coley is James Coley, so but I do feel very, very comfortable where Miami stands. Miami will get him on campus next week for Legends Camp, which is going to be a massive, massive recruiting weekend. If you guys haven't seen the official visit list for that, definitely might want to check that out. I can get one over to you guys. These next 2 weeks are huge as far as recruiting talent coming on campus. So I feel very comfortable with Ray. I really do. Us getting possibly the last visit is going to be key. So, I feel like we sit in a very, very good spot.
Yeah, I think that one's gonna be. I think it's gonna be interesting though with Louisville, kind of coming at them so hard and just having a lot of success recently too.
Absolutely.
On the recruiting trail. So,
in Miami,
what's that?
They recruit Miami well.
Right, exactly. I mean, look, and this is a kid that fits their style of play as well. I mean, he is a prototypical Tutu Atwell type of kid, right? Type of player. So like that's the first guy that I thought of when he's going to Louisville. I'm like, oh, it makes sense, right? But at the same time, I mean, he's the kind of guy that can come in here and be multiple as well with so many things. So I think that it's going to be an interesting battle with those two. Yeah, like you said, Texas A&M is in everybody's top 5, but I think that it's going to come down to Louisville and Miami.
So,
for him.
Ross, let me ask you a question about that, though. Do you think they're dropping Texas A&M's name in there because then everyone assumes they got a bag and they got to give them more money? Is that what's happening?
I think a lot of this A&M hype is real. I really do. Because honestly, I do believe James Coley is probably in every receiver in South Florida's inbox. I really do. Just to kind of continue to stick it to Miami. But there's no way they're going to land 10 wide receivers. Like it's just not going to happen. But I do believe they are recruiting these kids hard, and everybody does. Like the whole bag is well known. Like the whole stuff with John Ruiz being investigated by the NCAA. Bro, you should have went to Tennessee and A&M before you even
Right.
anywhere. Like it's just kind of crazy to me. But I'm not too concerned about A&M. Because if you look at it, Ennis, Hakeem, Ray, Jalen Brown, I think even William Fowles, like, bro, it's like 5 wide receivers off the top of my head. A&M's got, like, they're in their top 5. Like, it's crazy, and that's just in South Florida, So, Andy Jean, my bad, that's another one, So, I mean, it's crazy to me, bro.
If we had 3 hours here on today's show, I would definitely just run through all those wide receivers, man. But I think the last one I kind of want to talk about, because I think that his recruitment has been interesting, right? I think there's a lot of chatter out there. There was a lot of chatter before that, oh, we're not really recruiting him that hard, and then the other side is we've been recruiting him the whole time. Like, don't get it twisted. Like, what's going on with Hakeem Williams? I know you mentioned them, but and we know what Jalen Brown is all about. We know Brandon Ennis. I think those guys are really, the biggest names in college football when it comes to wide receivers. Hakeem Williams is starting to pick up a lot of traction with that, and I know his recruitment has been interesting with Miami. What's the deal with Hakeem? Is he a guy that Miami's really recruiting hard? Is he a take? What's going on?
He's definitely a take.
Yeah.
If he wasn't a take, I'd have to drive to Miami right now myself. Everybody in that office. I mean, Hakeem he's a guy you can't not recruit in Miami. 6'4", runs like a deer. Big. Like he's to me, he's probably one of the best. Like you could argue this all day long. He's the best wide receiver in the nation. But yes, I know it kind of got out. Like, well, Miami's not hasn't been recruiting him. Like, what's the whole shindig? There's a lot of guys that Miami just don't recruit loudly.
Right.
Which is the best way to put it. Miami has been recruiting him. They talked to him. It's just the kid literally all last year did nothing but visit Miami. He didn't visit no other school, not even FAU right up the road. So he's finally getting his senior year. He's taking all these trips. I do know Miami is in a dog fight if they want him. It's not going to be hard or easy pulling him from A&M, from Bama, from OSU, even Georgia. But I do think his recruitment could go through the season. I don't think he locks it down just yet. There's going to be a lot of guys over these next 2 months that in the recruitment shut it down, but I don't think it's shut down. To be honest with you, like a lot of these kids, I'm gonna just throw a name out there. Say UF, right? Has a lot of hype behind them. What if they go 4-8? Kids gonna be like, well, I don't know. Y'all had enough talent to at least go 6-6. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna back off my recruitment. I'm gonna see what else. It's a long way to December. Mark Fletcher's another name. Like Miami's still recruiting him. I know it was off like, oh, Miami wasn't recruiting him, or Miami's gonna always recruit these kids. They don't have to do it publicly. They're not gonna run to the media and say, hey, please put this out there. I want everybody out here to be so concerned that we're recruiting. Mario don't care what people think.
No.
So his board is set in his office. He knows who he wants. He's gonna sit down with Alonzo Highsmith, let him scout and tell him what he believes that his board should look like as well. And there's so much that goes on behind these doors that a lot of media doesn't just put out. And I think that's the best way it should be.
Yep, that's facts right there. Let's end with the wide receivers with this. How many wide receivers do you think we take this year?
Whew.
We still got Lamar's. We still got Lamar committed, right?
Yeah, with Lamar, like Miami's still recruiting him. Don't get me wrong. He's taking his visits, which I'm glad he is. Go see the world. But I'm not sure. At the end of the day, if you get a guy like, I'm gonna just say Ennis, Hakeem, Jalen, Ray, and Robbie, there's 5.
That's
so,
right.
I don't think we take 6. I wouldn't mind it. Revamp that entire wide receiver room, but that's a lot of 6 incoming freshmen at wide receiver. I don't think we do it. 5, I can see if like those 5 on in,
Right.
but I say 4. 4 to 5 would be my number.
Fair enough. We got a question from Les here in the chat. Yeah, I definitely want to talk about quarterbacks right here. Should we pick up a quarterback? I don't think it's should we. I think it's who we pick up. I think at this point, right? A lot of names out there. I'll throw out the names that I think we all talk about. Dante Moore. We talk about Rashada, right? Jada Rashada. And of course, Emory Williams. There might be a couple other ones. Who knows? I know the 2024 kid, Michael Hawkins. Is he a quarterback? Yep. Another. He's a 24 kid, but look, that's another kid that they're already recruiting hard as well. So, what's going on at the quarterback position? Is Emory the guy, and then everybody else kind of, falls behind him or under him, or is it kind of a battle between all those three?
No, I mean they're still like they've been recruiting quarterback. Like they're not just going to be sold, but Emory is option 1. He's definitely like the one that's been circled on the board. I'm not sure. I'm not going to say it for certain. I don't think they want to pay for a quarterback when they don't have to. That makes sense. It's you gotta that the NIL is a good thing and a bad thing, right? Because once the kid got $8 million from Tennessee, it screwed up all recruiting quarterback. It really did. You got kids asking for $7 million, half of that $4 million, at least $1 million, and to pay a quarterback that much money, and you got 3 guys in front of him that you trust. You know that they'll start at any day if you need them. Why bring a kid in and he's making more than all 3 combined? You know what I'm saying? So you got to watch your locker room presence sometimes with that. And I'm not saying that's how they're doing it, but that would be my honest guess if I had to kind of pick. You got a guy like Emory who may not be worried about that.
The truth is, like, that's the world we live in now, man. Like, it is what it is, right? Like, that's the game that we have to play now. And unfortunately, some of these kids that are already here in the program,
Right.
Didn't take advantage of it because it wasn't there. But it would it would have been there, I mean,
Right.
things would be a little bit different. I don't know if you guys have a different take on that, Vish and DJ, with the quarterbacks, but like I feel you on the Emory thing because he's new to the recruiting game, right? Like the SEC is just starting to come around to him, and Miami's obviously done a great job with Coach Ponce and the rest of that staff recruiting him for a minute already. I think that obviously they have the upper hand, and I don't know if money is going to play a huge factor in his recruiting. But when the SEC starts coming for you, things could change real quick. I don't know if Vish, if you got a question or DJ on that.
I'll just say that I think Miami, like you said, kind of does have the advantage because they were one of the bigger schools to recruit him when his recruitment started. But like you said, when there's certain schools that give out offers and when those schools extend offers, then other schools kind of look at certain prospects and say, hey, maybe we should check this guy out. I think that's happening with Emory. I know he's coming to campus this Friday. And I'm hoping that Miami can continue to make a play for him. I think he's a really good quarterback, but we'll have to see. I mean, money talks, and the SEC talks, and I'm just hoping that Miami can be in a favorable position throughout his entire recruiting process.
Yeah, I think that's QB1 on our radar right now.
Absolutely.
Rasta. I don't know. I think that it's gonna be hard now with Rashada really looking at UF and Texas A&M. There's that name again, Texas A&M. But look, just looking at Emory's tape, I mean, the kid's got the goods, right? Like I think he's just as talented. He was just a 0-star, right? A no star, or a 3-star, whatever he is now. But like, it's just funny the way that works, man. How all of a sudden now everybody's like, "Oh, we saw his tape," and now UF is on him, and FSU is on him, and Alabama and this and I mean, come on, man.
Always happens.
It's unbelievable, unbelievable.
But it's just a completely different experience. So a lot of this is like, what does he want to be a part of, right? I totally get it. Like, sometimes you take your best offer, and maybe that was us, and maybe for him now it's like, man, I can go play at Alabama. That's a whole different thing right now. On the other hand, one day this program will come back. I know we've been saying it for 20 years, but being on the forefront of that will trump anything you can do at Alabama right now. Because Alabama is all Nick Saban, it's a machine. It's almost like even though they have amazing players that go on to the NFL and do great things there, it's still about Nick Saban. Whoever's like part of our program actually being relevant consistently and laying that groundwork is going to get immortalized in a way that will not happen in Alabama. And that's what Mario Cristobal and Ponce need to sell. Right, that you can actually you can be a legend here, and frankly, at Alabama, you can win the Heisman twice, and you're just part of the furniture at this point. They've been winning so much.
Right.
All right, Rasta, we're gonna do some rapid fire with you here on some of the kids, and I'm gonna be honest with everybody. I'm going straight off of your IG, man. I got to. By the way, if you haven't checked, obviously we'll plug you later, but make sure you guys check out Ross's Instagram,
Really good stuff.
Twitter, everything on there. He's got some of the best edit, if not the best edits in the game. So rapid fire. We talked a little bit about Mike Hawkins, but he's a 2024 kid. So we'll kind of leave that one out. Damari Brown, visiting soon. When is he visiting, and what are the chances with him?
So he was on campus today, I believe.
Oh, nice.
I'm not sure if he worked out because today was a lot of one-on-one with the recruits and the players. Like they weren't even scheduling kids come in at the same time. So he was there today. Damari is definitely gotta be like you gotta have him in this class. Not only because he's a legacy, probably because he's one of the best defensive backs in South Florida. He's held that Heritage team down like on the defensive side of the ball since he started. I love the kid. He's a must get. I think we leave for him, but we are definitely battling Clemson for him.
Nice. Okay, so it's a Clemson-Miami battle there. This is a kid I haven't heard too much about, Sharif Denson, another defensive back out of Bartram Trail.
Yep,
just a little quick. What are the chances with him? Is he a guy that's really on Miami's radar, really strong? Are we recruiting him really hard? What's the deal with him?
So he is as of today. Staff, first time really getting to see him. The new staff just reoffered him today. They like what they saw. Coach Ade got literally one-on-one with him going through drills. He's a really, really good kid. Very, very smart corner. He's about 5'11", could be hitting 6 foot right about now. I think he's a guy that he's kind of like a Chris Graves to me. Very, very smooth, very technique. Is very, very well. I think Florida leads. He's a Florida legacy. So, and pulling him out of that area is going to be tough. But I think we got a chance if we really do push because right now UF's got way more higher than him on the board. So, possibly push for him soon, before UF misses on some of their guys. We could possibly get him in this class. But, he's impressive.
Number 13, Pip Down says number 13 in camp today. Question mark.
I didn't get to see him there.
Yeah,
I wasn't there today.
An interesting one here. This is an interesting one because brother plays in the NFL. Another quarterback out of Utah is Isaac Wilson, who was the brother of Zach Wilson, quarterback for the Jets. Still a young kid, young, but he's a 2024 kid. Apparently, he can go out there, he could sling it a little bit. So another kid that's going to be competing with Mike Hawkins in that 2024 class. Legit guy, this Isaac Wilson kid.
Yeah, I know he's kind of, I don't want to say undersized because, he's not like Drew Brees size. He's 6 foot right now. Hopefully he can get up to 6'2". He definitely got an arm. He can sling that ball all over the field. His brothers, like already said, at his age, he's already better than him. So that's a big thing. He has legit interest in Miami. He's visited twice now on his own this year. This since January. I think he visited
from Utah too. That's not across the street.
No, yeah. That's. I mean, of course, I know his brother's got whatever, but that's still he could go. I'll go to USC or Oregon or whatever. No, he's been to Miami twice now. So that's impressive. We'll see. We'll see how that, because I like Michael Hawkins too. I know you kind of touched on him briefly. That 24 class got some nice arms in it.
Yeah, that's going to be interesting next year to see how that kind of shapes out. But you might see some of these guys commit early. Quarterbacks tend to commit a little earlier, anyways, than other positions. So, kid, you mentioned earlier on today, Ross, that Chris Johnson, the running back out of Dillard, 2023 kid, he's just popped up on the radar recently, right? Like, but obviously we've spoken about him before behind closed doors that he might be one of the best running backs in the state. He's that good, right?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if I would go as far as best running back. I love Cedric Baxter. He
Yeah.
was literally, I think he's the best in the nation. There is without a doubt. But obviously he's looking likely like he's headed out to the Midwest, Texas or Bama. But Chris Johnson is elite. Won state title this year, I think, in 100 meter and 200 meter in track, which he beat Jalen Brown, which says enough. He's a blazer, and if you look at what they want in this offense, it's speed, speed, speed. It's immaculate. So Miami does lead for him right now, and that's amazing because he just got offered yesterday by Alabama. He was there on a visit with his Dillard High School team. So for him to come straight back from Alabama and go work out the day on campus with Coach Smith, he loves Coach Smith. He loved the workouts he put him through. So I think that's impressive, to say the least. And pairing him with somebody like Mark Fletcher, who's a bruiser, and then you got your Thunder and Lightning, can't go wrong there.
Two more guys, and then talk about a couple other guys. But I believe his name is By Job. Is that it? By Job.
Yeah.
Big dude, man. Big kid. Looks big. Looks strong. What position does he kind of project at? And does Miami have a good shot at him?
He's gonna be coming off the edge. And this was his first time coming out of Miami this past weekend. And the great thing is he stayed the weekend, but he wasn't an official visitor. So he can still come back for an official visit. He's setting that up. Hopefully it's soon because I do want to kind of lock him up. That dude's a beast. He reminds me of Greg a lot. I know everybody likes to compare people to Greg, but he's long, he's lanky. He's got a bend. Like for him to be so young, he can hit the corner, and he's definitely a freak. But it's definitely, if Oklahoma pushes, I think, because he's from Oklahoma,
Right.
I think it's gonna be tough to get him out of there. I think he's actually from Norman as well.
Good luck with
So,
that one, right? Yeah,
right.
that's gonna be a dogfight for sure.
Yeah.
This is a guy that Vish knows a little bit. He spoke about him last week, if I'm not mistaken. And I still think we need to buckle down those trenches, man. Sadir Mitchell. Looks like another big dude, a big guy that can kind of plug some holes and really be a force at the defensive tackle position. What's his recruitment looking like?
I know Miami made a move with him. I just think it's gonna be tough to beat Georgia if Georgia really wants him. I know they compared him to Jordan Davis, which is, I mean,
Sure.
says enough. But I know he had a great official. It really did. I don't think his recruitment, and I mean recruitment changes daily. So, but I just don't. I don't think we win that one. I would love to have him in, especially that one tech. He would plug up the entire defensive line. So, but I don't see us winning that one. I honestly don't have him in our class.
All right, we'll go yes or no on this. Samuel and Pemba.
Ooh, I'm gonna say yes.
Ooh, okay. I mean, he's been out here enough too. I mean, that
Him
kid.
and Skinner are like,
Okay, that doesn't hurt.
nah,
That doesn't hurt. Another cornerback, Malik Muhammad. Yes or no?
no.
No, huh?
It hurts my heart because he's literally number 2 on my list, man.
Oh
Yeah,
man.
I just don't see it. Honestly, cornerback is weird right now, but that's not. Ask me this 3-4 months, and it might be yes.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. And then lastly, what's going on with the linebacker position? Who are some of the names that we should look out for to be possibly making a move or just high on the board for Miami?
So linebacker 1 is Malik Bryant. Oh,
Okay.
for real. He will be here next weekend on official visit. It's an Alabama Miami battle. I know Florida's in it, and he's fresh off a visit there. But he commits July 23rd, in Miami.
Yeah, that's wild.
So with Peyton Kirkland, I think it's wild for you to drive from Orlando to Miami. I don't know. That's just my take. I just think that's a wild take, but I do think we lead for him. That's my wild take. You know, I know Flo likes to say a hot take. That's my hot take. Like he's always been linebacker one for me. He's actually my number one want in this class right now because he's an animal. Um, I know a lot of people like to ask me about Papo Raul Aguirre. I think his recruitment is everywhere right now. I know we had him on our show and he was everything Miami.
It was awesome on your show.
Yeah,
I remember that. Yeah.
I mean, I'm not saying he's not. He visits. I hope next week. I hope he comes out for ladies camp. I'm not sure when his actual is. I have to look it up. But he's definitely one I hope we get in with. I talked to Tony Rojas. We are not in his recruiting. He literally took us out completely. So that name is off the board. Man, I'm trying to think of some other names.
Is Janelle Guerrero? Is he a linebacker?
Safety.
Oh,
So
he's a safety. Man, he looks like a linebacker though.
He's massive.
He's huge.
From
Yeah,
Massachusetts.
he's more like a strong safety, like your
That's right.
in the box safety. He would definitely put a bruiser on you. It reminds me a lot of Kamari Wilson, who went to UF last year. Which I hope Aguirre does not go. He's actually at UF right now, so I hope we don't go there. Yeah.
Oh, that's right. Aguero is a northeasterner, right? DJ.
Yep, Massachusetts, top prospect in the state. We may not have a lot, but we do have some.
Tamir Robinson. I'm trying to look at my board. I got a little recruiting board beside me.
Tamir Robinson, yeah.
Tamir Robinson, we're actually recruiting him at middle linebacker. I know his profile says edge, but we want him as an actual Mike, which I'm fine with. 6'3", 235 pounds, 4'5".
That's a good Mike. That's a nice
Mike. I'm fine. And then also we got Robbie Washington.
Vish is getting a kick out of this, by the way.
I love
I'm just happy that Rasta actually has to look stuff up occasionally. Man. I'm just like,
it's too many because it's too many. Not because
I know. No.
It's the opposite for us.
I get that. I understand why. Like he's listed off 400 players already on this show, so like I get it. I'm just like he's human. He's human.
Linebacker board is honestly like linebacker board right now is deeper than corner. Like that's how
good to know. We need it.
And that's what Mario Cristobal realized linebackers was a huge position of need. You know, and it's funny because we always thought corner was like, oh man, corner's the weakest room and da-da-da. And then he walks in and like, no, that's the strongest room. Like, I'm not even worried about cornerbacks. I'm worried about linebackers and D-line. So, you know, but yeah, I mean, there's probably about 30 offers out at linebacker. But, I mean, obviously, we're only going after like 10, 15. You got Stanquan Clark, who impressed the staff during the spring, which is Robbie Washington's teammate, but not only teammate, cousin. You know, so he's somebody that we need to be watching for. There's a few other guys, man. I know the guy out in Texas, and I think Anthony Hill, I believe.
Anthony Hill, yep. Anthony Hill.
Yeah, we're not in it for him. He took us out. Tackett Curtis, we not even after him anymore. So it's slowly shrinking, but you know, there's a kid out in Tampa that I really like, Lewis Carter. He's visited. I'm not sure if we're pushing for him at this moment. You know, like corner, it's so weird, man. Like these classes are, Mario's board is just like slowly changing every week.
I can imagine. We just got to let him do his thing. That's it.
Yeah, that's the best move.
Rasta, let them know where they can find you, man.
Right there on Twitter, Instagram. I do update a lot of stuff on Instagram more, just because everybody sees everything on Twitter already. So I usually just go to Instagram. Plus, the kids are predominantly, we speak a lot on there, so they update me on there. So you know, if you follow my Instagram, it's the same @ and it's the same @ on Twitter. And then tomorrow night we will be live with Jackson Carver and his parents. And then right after him at 9:30, we'll be live with Reed McKeskey and his parents.
That's awesome.
Definitely tune in. You know, I just want to bring both of them on, man. And coming fresh off a visit, And I think, well, obviously Carver is committed, but now Kesky could be on that brink. I wanted to kind of get them both on live and just kind of hear what the parents also have to say. I like hearing, because mom and dad are important.
Oh yeah, 100%.
I like hearing what they have to say as well.
Make sure you guys check that out. Sebastian Lane, right? So is Dave going to be on with you?
Yeah, Dave will be there tomorrow
right.
as well.
Nice.
We go live at 8:45 on the Miami Flow channel, and yeah, we appreciate it, man.
Make sure you guys check him out. Thank you so much, Rasta, for coming on, man. You know you're always welcome. Your fam over here, so we appreciate it, brother. Thank you.
Always, man. Y'all have a great night.
Rasta.
Yeah, man. Y'all too.
Y'all wanted recruiting, you had it. You got it. Okay.
You got expert level.
I don't know if
it's hard to follow up.
Yeah, it's hard to.
I was gonna talk about the transfer we got in baseball, but
Farrell, Ian Farrell. There it is.
Ian Farrell. Yeah, no, I actually know about him. It's just like that's the audience wants the football. So
big time. By the way, big time
bat. 21 homers last year for FGCU. We needed pop. You saw the performance in the regionals.
You want another stick in the lineup? You got him. Yeah. So there you go.
Sounds good.
All right, before we go, let's talk about our sponsors. Our sponsor, not sponsors. Our sponsor. Bring it up there, Vish. It's Prize Picks time, baby. Let's talk about Prize Picks, the official daily fantasy app of the 5 Reasons Sports Network. Make sure you're using the code 5 FIVE when you sign up, and they will match your initial deposit up to $100. Use the code 5. You don't even have to spend it all at once, which is great. You can play the NFL when it comes around again. You can play the NHL, NBA, Major League Baseball. So many different options. What's great about it is that you can mix and match players from different teams and different sports also, which is awesome. You pick 2 to 5 players, then you play the over-under on individual categories. It all depends on how much you want to win. So make sure you go to prizepicks.com, sign up today, use the code FIVE, and they will match your initial deposit up to $100. prizepicks.com. Make sure you check us out every Wednesday night at 8:30 p.m. on the 5 Reasons Sports YouTube channel here. Make sure you follow us on Twitter at 6 Rings Canes. We're going to have some really, really great news for you soon, as we're going to be collaborating with one of our old, I guess it's one of our old partners as well. We're going to bring that back as well. So we'll start talking a little bit about that soon. We'll start posting on the podcast as well, so you can have the podcast to listen, not only to watch our ugly mugs here, but to be able to listen to us, which might be more appealing to you. Maybe you guys don't watch us because we're not the prettiest faces.
They won't know if Professor Santana showed up or not.
Yeah,
you gotta get the visual enough. The glasses
Speak
are
for
on.
yourself, Jazz. I mean, come on now.
I know you're right. My bad. I'm sorry. I apologize. These good-looking dudes over here. What am I gonna say? Make sure you check us out every Wednesday night, 8:30 p.m. 6 Rings Canes, and make sure you subscribe and smash the like button. So Vish, DJ, always a pleasure talking Hurricanes football with you. Thank you to Rasta again, and we'll see you guys next Wednesday. Make sure you check out our F1 show now for all you F1 fans. Hitting the Apex starts in about 1 minute.
Right now.
Right now. See you guys there.